Well, thank you for the opportunity to chat with you about what we do at IROC, which is the Imaging and Radiation Oncology Core for the National Cancer Institute's National Clinical Trial Network. We serve as a central service for this vast National Clinical Trial Network for the US National Cancer Institute. It is organized through these network groups, the Alliance Group, the IROC Akron, the NRG and the Southwest Oncology Group, together with the Children's Oncology Group, and also affiliated with the Canadian Clinical Trial Group. All these network groups work together with the goal to perform innovative trials within the cancer care community in the United States and beyond. It has a leadership on the radiation oncology side. This is Stephen Cry from MD Anderson, and on the imaging side, that is me, also serving as a IROC PI for IROC Ohio. We collect data for more than 3,000 sites around literally the world. The portfolio of IROC is currently supporting more than 200 trials. Some of them are screening trials, some are basically risk assessment trials, therapeutic intervention trials, and also long-term observation after therapeutic interventions. The data that are being generated and the experiences that are being gathered within the NCTN reflect very much the real-world situation with the diversity of patient population, diversity of environments, and with those diversities comes a lot of challenges. Most of the IROC activities have to be performed within the normal organizations that take care of patients. So we have to really focus on streamlining the processes. We have to focus on efficiencies. We have to minimize any redundancies. A lot of the data that is being collected through the National Clinical Trial Network is eventually put into the Cancer Imaging Archive, which is one of the largest data archives that is now so important for the community that is developing new quantitative and analytical features from the perspective of radiomics or artificial intelligence analysis for machine learning and deep learning. What is also unique in our environment that we really work very, very closely with the trial teams, with the scientists that initially came up with the new therapeutic or investigational approach. And it is really fun to have these scientific-driven discussions which really lead to a lot of meaningful and impactful innovations. Having tools that are highly structured, that allow us to bring the diversity of data that we collect on behalf of the National Clinical Trial Network into the necessary structure that allows us to have a standardized assessment, and a standardized assessment in a way that also adheres to all the standards, how we want to output the data at the end for any final statistical analysis, for any publication, or for any regulatory submission. So having the tools, the software environments that support all of this with a focus of the efficiency for the reader, the continuous documentation of all the steps, and allowing and enabling this in a highly structured approach has been the key component that really led to our implementations and are part of the constant evolution. What we also found that is very important is that we have an environment that we can apply also for the participation of patients in our own local environment that either want to have objective response assessments, or their clinicians want to have objective response assessment, or they need to have the documentation for eligibility and further patient care management. Having the ability to have a software environment that allows us to integrate all these different components in a seamless, efficient way is absolutely crucial, because we are dealing with large number of cases. We need to do things in a very timely fashion, and we need to have a high quality software that allows us the robustness and stability to get our job done. One of the challenges of interpreting imaging studies is that we are dependent on the expertise and also consistency of the individual readers. And that is especially important when we need to have consistency for clinical trials. The integration of software tools that enable us to bring this consistency, efficiency, standardization into the process is really a key component. And that's why we do need to have the software tools. And all of that needs to be seamless. It needs to be enabling an efficient workflow, and needs to allow us to have the data available in the format and also in the further electronic data flow integration that we need today. Especially in oncology, we have seen the benefit of structured reporting. That became very obvious with the introduction of RECIST, which then has evolved into a whole portfolio of very specialized assessment approaches. Now, this has been recognized in many other disease entities, especially in orthopedics for degenerative diseases or in the situation for knee injuries. When we now see the benefits of these tools that allow us to bring quantitative assessment in a very objective way, and we see the upcoming opportunity to integrate further analytical technologies that may be driven by artificial intelligence or radiomics features into a structured report, I think is going to be a tremendous opportunity. That is what the referring physicians are looking for. And that is also what patients want to see for an understandable communication of their disease status, as well as the ability to see how their disease status is changing. And I think that is a very important feedback that both the referring physicians as well as patients are increasingly looking for.